Well, hello, everybody. I hope all is well in your side of the equator, depending upon where you are. We're reaching a global audience, and we're grateful and thankful for what it is we have the opportunity to do. And we're going to jump right into the heart of some conversation today. I was having a conversation. I've had a few phone calls today that were quite unexpected, well, in one sense, but not necessarily in another. And we'll be talking about some of that on today. We got Miss Carol is in the house. Hello, Miss Carol. It's good to see you. We got our darling from UK in the house. Mahmood, it's always good to see you. Thank y'all for chiming in at the right place at the right time. I'll tell you the direction. I have a gentleman here, really needs no introduction. He's not new to this person, that's for sure. He's been a highlight and a feature in many of my episodes in the past as it relates to business. He has a business mind and comes from a biblical perspective, so I always love to really hear him articulate in that area as well. But we mean business today because there's a whole lot of stuff going out there, and there's a ton of decisions being made, and some of them, I mean, people are hurting themselves. They're not making decisions based upon realities. They're making emotional decisions for business, and it can be very dangerous. And we're going to be talking about some of those things today. And I want to kind of fill you in. Forex is what the major conversation is all about. And Forex, as you know, is a major opportunity. You're talking about $6 to $8 trillion a day is being traded every single day. People are getting into this thing and they are moving their lives to a brand new level. But you must beware, buyer beware. You gotta take heed before you leap. There's some things you need to know. There are many people who are in Forex. They are not affiliated in any particular way at all with any direct sales company as the engine behind it. So whether you're in that space, and particularly if you are in the space where you've chosen a particular company, direct sales, network marketing, so forth and so on, as the engine behind it, we want to make sure that you get the right information. Maybe there are some things that have happened suddenly, unexpectedly, or maybe you've been thinking of making a move, but you need to know what your options really are. You need to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples and pound for pound. And I don't have anybody more qualified to do that than my friend, my brother, my coach, Todd Strang. Coach Todd, how are you, sir?
Hi, I'm living the dream, Pastor. I'm excited to be here with you.
You always do, man. I'm dreaming about getting to your dream.
If you're pursuing the dream, you're living the dream. It's the journey, not the destination.
There you go. Absolutely. I believe that, man. But listen, let's get right into it, man. We've had some conversations in the past 24 hours. There's a whole lot. This industry, this home-based business industry that gives all of us the opportunity to not necessarily immediately cut the cord, because that's not what everybody's going to do, but whether they're going to add an extra $500, $1,000, $2,000 or more in their home, this is a place that you can do that. And man, when you add in this Forex, man, can you do it? You can really do that thing, and you can do that thing pretty quickly. But all Forex opportunities are not created equal. So I really want to kind of ask you a few questions along the line. What makes Travorium, which is the company we represent, so much different from some of the other companies out there? I got word on yesterday that one of the companies, I think they may have had, I know it was less than a year, the company name was Tradera, and they have literally closed their doors. And they grew so quick. It was a lot of movement. A lot of people made a lot of money, and things are happening now. But I want you, for the safety of people making any decision, whether they come here and find a home inside of Travorium, or they move elsewhere, or do it on their own independently, I really wanted to go to you to kind of give us some counsel and some constructive criticism of what makes for a solid company, a solid opportunity, a solid decision. So just take it away, and I'll ask you a few questions as we go along.
Yeah, number one, for the people that are experiencing the devastation, and I've been there, where you're with a company, you're building, you're pouring your heart, soul, and tears, and you're dreaming about the future, and you're getting people excited, and you're growing, and you're doing all the right things, and suddenly it's taken away from you. And it's heart-wrenching. It feels like someone just kicked you in the stomach. I've had that happen to me. I don't wish that upon anybody. It's a horrible feeling. I mean, so many people get their dreams wrapped up in it. I've had my phone's been blowing up all day. Some former reps of that company, one guy just hit the 10K bonus. Him and his wife were just celebrating a few days ago. They're like, honey, we made it. We did it. We arrived. We're at the $10,000 per month. Christmas is a few days away. They opened up the bubbly, and they were obviously enthralled in the moment. And then they get the news that on Friday they didn't get paid. And then they got news last night that the company's not even going to try anymore. And they've thrown in the towel. And that same gentleman just had a bunch of people from Zimbabwe, 30, in fact, over the weekend that had signed up. And $99 may not be a big deal in the United States, but to people in other parts of the world, I mean, it's a big deal. And again, it's horrible when you see these kinds of stories. And that's why it's a ton of leaders. They won't join a company unless it's 2.5, 5 years old. Most of the leaders I know, I've been doing this industry full time now for 26 plus years. And, I've tried not to repeat the mistakes of the past, right? You got to learn from the past.
Right.
That can happen to anybody, but not if you don't learn from it. If you keep making the same mistake over and over and over again, right? That old saying, fool me once, shame on you, but fool me twice, shame on me. And so, it's one of those things that, it's okay to have tragedy happen, but you want to learn from that. And so when you say, hey, what makes us different? We're in our 9th year. That's what makes us different. We are going into our 9th year of people getting paid every single Friday. They get paid exactly what they're owed, exactly when they're owed it, every Friday, since 2013, without missing a single moment. There's never been a story for, we'll get you paid on Saturday. Or, we've never in our company history. And that's the number one thing. If you can't trust the management to get you paid, then why are you even doing what you're doing? And if you're not even sure the company's going to be around 5-9 years from now, why are you doing what you're doing? It doesn't help to go build this thing that's growing so fast if it doesn't stick around. And I tried to caution a number of people who went into that situation that, hey, this thing, it might look like a bright shining star at the moment, but I got a feeling it ain't going to end well. Now, I even told one of them, hey, I promise you will not be, touting that company 6 months from now. And I was wrong. It was 7 months and I was off by a month. And so, again, you want to learn from that. You want to find a company where it's solid. They got staying power, a place where you can really, dig in, a company that's international. We're already in 52 countries, paying out millions of commissions all around the globe every single Friday, something you can count on. And I know that there's a lot of people that are going to scramble and go from a company that, maybe we should have, seen the writing on the wall, a couple of young guys, and, they'd never really run a company before and they were having problems from the get-go. And we're now going to kind of scramble over to the next one where it's another startup, but this one's different. It's still another startup, right? And so, that's the first thing. It's just, find something that's maybe got a little more longevity. Something's got a little more teeth to it, a little more the history to it. That way, you're building on rock and not on sand, to borrow our biblical expression there. Yeah.
Can you talk about that as it relates to personal leadership? David Hart has been an exceptional person in my book in terms of just business acumen, business savvy, and the integrity that he brings to the table. So without regard for any other company, can you speak on a personal note, and I know you can, on the type of leadership, not just of himself, but core staff persons, even our staff, the training and the longevity of all that. Can you speak on that for us?
Yeah. In fact, I'll even kind of borrow some stuff from Warren Buffett here. Warren Buffett is famous for hiring executives that have, they're smart and have incredible integrity. And he goes, but incredible integrity is the number one, because if they're smart and they have no integrity, well, then that could actually be an absolute disaster.
Yeah. Right.
You're better off having someone that's, not so smart. Right. So, the integrity side of it is so important. It's something that people look over. Oh, yeah. Integrity. No, trust me. At the end of the day, when it comes down to character, It comes down to integrity. I mean, these are not little intangibles. This is the stuff that really, really matters. You know, I mean, what's that leader going to do when no one's looking? What's that leader? You know, what do they really stand for? Who are they really as a person? And, you know, Mr. David Hart has been a finalist for Entrepreneur of the Year, Inc. magazine. He's obviously been a phenomenal entrepreneur, has a long storied career in this, in business, both traditional and direct selling. And that's something a lot of people make a mistake on. They'll see some incredible business person that gets involved in the direct selling industry, but they don't understand direct selling, and it can be a disaster. And you'll see the opposite. I mean, right now you'll probably have someone that had a big downline in some company, and they could probably go try to start their own company, but they've never run a company before, and that's equally as much of a disaster. And, you know, when you look at Mr. David Hart, he brings both sides of that equation, where he hit the highest heights of success in traditional business. Then he became a networker, hit the highest heights of success as a networker, and then decided to have his own company. But again, now he's got both sides of the aisle. I've already proven myself as a business owner. I've proven myself in the direct selling industry, and that's why his company is now in its 9th year of business. I mean, there was a recipe there. You could say, you know what? If I was a betting person, I could bet that this thing's going to stick around for a while.
Right.
And it has. And then, of course, obviously, you've got that, as you mentioned, just who he is as a person. Incredible family man. You know, he's got, 7 children. He's a God-fearing man. And he's a person that, over the years, there are people that, to be frank, have ripped him off. And obviously ripped him off. And there were situations like where, he was going to pay him anyway. I'm like, why would you pay that guy after all that happened? Because I said I would do it. He's one of those people that if he says he's going to do something, then by gosh, even if it means like no one else would do it, but because I said I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And that's something about being a principal, someone, they stand for something, and they're principle focused.
Absolutely. That's good stuff. I couldn't agree with you more. Coach, talk to us about this thing as it relates to Forex being foundational. Even though we're a company in our 9th year of experience here as a travel company, which is an $8 trillion industry annually all by itself. We'll get to that later. But why is the Forex component allowing us to be seen as a foundational opportunity? People always talk about ground floor. But sometimes ground floor is not all it's been cracked up to be, as you've just mentioned. So talk about this being a foundational opportunity inside of a very tenured company as well.
Yeah, so here we are going into our 9th year. We've built our success, in 52 countries and paid out millions of commissions. We've done that in the travel arena, and we do things that no one does in travel. I mean, our travel's out of this world. And I know, well, you're the marketer. Of course, you're supposed to say that. When you go talk privately to the people involved with our travel, people who've been around the space, I mean, they'll tell you, like, man, and I've been in every MLM travel thing out there. There ain't never been anything like this. These guys have really put something amazing together, and we have. And we're proud of that. However, we did decide, we almost did it 2 years ago, branch into the Forex arena. We did not pull the trigger back then. But when we had the unique opportunity to meet this company up in Canada, they are a professional Forex company. They invest money for very wealthy people. They invest money for institutions. I mean, these aren't, a couple of guys, they know a lot about Forex and I'm going to tell you all about it. I mean, I'm talking about people that really do this for a living. That do it for the wealthy, that do it for the big institutions. Well, we had the good fortune of meeting these guys in Canada, and we began to have some discussions. And of course, obviously with COVID-19 and a couple of billion people Googling, how do I make money from home? And seeing people who had success in Forex, there's obviously, it's the single largest financial market in the world. Right. Most people know nothing about it. And I also met a guy named Chris Coleman. And I'd seen him take his bank account from $0 to $100,000 in 1 year because of the Forex opportunity. And he never built the team that was just on Forex alone. And it just couldn't help it. Man, what if you could show people all around the world how to do that? But in the Forex arena, I mean, it's kind of like, it's a lot of fly by night operations. Again, we just saw this, tumultuous ending to another company, and and that's going to be repeated again and again and again. I mean, there's tons of them out there. They might mean well, but it's probably not going to end well. And so, hey, how do we take, our stability as a company and go, team up with some true experts in this arena and take that information all around the world. And that's what we're in the process of doing. And so we decided to roll out a brand new brand. So the Travorium brand is brand new. We just started live trading last week. And so here we're an established company that's paid out millions of commissions all around the globe, but we're rolling out this brand new division, this brand new thing. We just started. And so all of you have a chance to be ground floor with an established company, kind of get the best of both worlds there. That I don't have to worry about whether or not they can, run the computers and pay the paychecks and those kind of things. But at the same time, no one's ever heard of Travorium. No one's ever heard that they're doing Forex. No one's heard that they're teamed up with some of the Jedi masters of this space that actually invest money for the institutions, right? And that we can get some of the best counseling in the world over here at Travorium. It's something we're excited to roll out and excited to share with people.
I love it. Now, talk to us for the person, and I know there are, as Mom would say, a goo-gob of people. They're already in Forex and they are working independently. They have a skill set that has allowed them to work at the beaches of the world, tapping into the banks of the world. They got a lot of money from just doing what they do on their laptop. So they've never developed a team. They have no desire for a team, so forth and so on. Can you help us to understand that in Travorium, you can have the best of both worlds? You can do either, or you can combine them. Can you help us to understand that?
Yeah, and speaking of either, I mean, obviously we still have our travel component. So although we're rolling out our Forex division, many of the Forex people are going to say, wow, you guys got some just freakishly crazy travel deals. My wife and I were at the Wynn in Las Vegas, Nevada. Just recently we saw you there, Pastor Mel, and we were in these rooms that cost over $600 a night. And we were in that room for $66 a night. I mean, trust me, as you get people out there making money in Forex, they are going to tap into the travel. So what it means is that you can make a lot more money in our company because you can sell not only hamburgers, but chicken sandwiches, meaning there's a lot more to sell. So again, we're rolling out the Forex division. You don't have to do the travel. You can do Forex only, never do travel. You can do travel only, never do Forex. You can do Forex, never build a team. Just make money from the Forex, and just like my buddy Chris Coleman did. I mean, he didn't build a team; he just went and did Forex. And so we are here to teach people the actual skill set of learning how to trade in the Forex marketplace. But you're going to do it with obviously the mentorship. People who are the best at what they do. Again, they do it for the wealthy. They do it for the big institutions. This isn't just some MLM company that grabbed Bob, and Bob knows a lot about it. And next thing you know, he's on a call and he's an expert. Now I'm talking about I'm talking about real experts that do it for real institutions. So
not with my money.
So I mean, so you can tap into that. And by the way, we also do it in multiple languages, which a lot of the companies out there, they didn't do it. They didn't have Spanish. They didn't have French. So and we're getting ready to add more languages. So we're going to keep adding the languages and bringing some real professionalism, some real credibility, to this space, and showing people that, hey, forget about the team. Just do the Forex, and you, like my buddy Chris, can take your account from zero to something you might like.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. What about, there's been a whole lot of conversation about the type of compensation plan. Now, of course, we have a hybrid because we get paid. I mean, in travel alone, for those who are in the travel space, I know for a fact there's at least 11 different ways we're getting paid when you really add them all up. But in the Forex portion and mixed in, can you talk to us about what we call the binary compensation plan for our residual pay, as opposed to those systems, and I think it's the multitude of them, that have what we call three-legged systems? Can you kind of compare those for us?
Yeah, and it's interesting because most of the companies out there are a three-legged build or a trinary, if you will. You got to go build three legs. Yeah, and it's just simple math. I mean, anyone that's been around the space knows that. Recruiting three people is easy, but building three legs. Finding someone who's willing to do whatever it takes for however long it takes. You've got a true leader that's going to perpetuate that leg, whether you're there or not. Anyone will tell you that takes a lot of time, a lot of work. You could literally sponsor 100 people and not find that one true leader. And so, it's not something simple. I mean, anyone that's ever built a leg, if they're being honest, it's a lot of work to build a leg. Well, by the way, it's twice as hard to build two legs as it is to build one. It's not a little bit harder. It is exponentially harder. And if you say you want me to build three legs, well, it is 3 times as hard to build 3 legs as it is to build 2 legs. Again, It ain't a little bit harder. It is exponentially harder.
Mm-hmm.
And for every leg you require someone to build in order to succeed in your compensation program, you are simply guaranteeing that a huge percentage of people could never do it. I mean, it's simple math. I mean, how many people are going to sponsor 20 people ever? How many are going to sponsor 15 ever, 10 ever, right? I mean, they can tell you those numbers, and human nature doesn't change. Right. And I happen to know some of the inside numbers of these three-legged pay programs. They pay out about 40%. That's why the company's doing it. The company's a cash cow. I mean, they're crushing it because the third leg creates massive breakage for the owners. The third leg creates massive breakage so they can pay some big hitter at the top $1 million a month or $500,000 a month. It's because all those average people at the bottom aren't getting paid at all. That's where the money's coming from. And there's a reason the most predominant pay program in our industry today is a binary, the two-legged. It took over. I mean, there was a time when people were like, oh, those things aren't any good. I mean, I was around, Pastor Mel, I hate to say this, back when it came out. Going back to it was invented by David and Martha Crow in 1989, and it started to become popular in 1993, 1994, 1995. I was in some of the first binaries ever that were out there. Every leader in the world tried to shun it and poo-poo it and this and that. And today it is the most prevalent compensation program in our industry. Why? Because of human nature. Again, what I just stated, it is infinitely harder to build three legs than two. I mean, why would you make it tough on yourself or your people? I mean, if you're truly someone that cares about your people, it's the old saying, if you help enough other people get what they want, you'll get everything you want. Well, that's not always what gets done in this industry. Sometimes leaders go to a program where it might be really good for the leader because they can build three legs, and they drag a whole bunch of people there that ain't got no chance. But that's okay because I can, they're going to pay me money to come over, and they got all these other kind of programs, and there's a lot of perks, for some of the leaders that are there, and of course, there's bigger checks for them there because of all the little people that didn't get paid. And so again, it's a personal choice. And for me, I would rather see a lot of everyone do well than me personally, do exceptionally great. And so just choose, which kind of a pay program you're looking for. But for the average person, I mean, I'm telling you, if you're going to a three-legged build, I've made the jokes. Friends do not let friends build three legs when they only got to build two.
That's a good one. We need a T-shirt for that one. So, Coach, let me make sure I'm hearing this right. You're saying that basically, apple for apple, pound for pound, if everything else was even, and you have two companies that have that portion where you can build teams. Not that they have to, but if they choose to, if they want to build teams, and the compensation is set that on one program, the requirement is to have two legs called a binary system. And then in the other company where you need to build three legs, the company that has the program, the binary, has an advantage.
Unequivocally. In fact, I would tell you that a lot of people go over there not knowing the difference, or they never thought about it. And so, so maybe ignorance is bliss, right? But if you're watching this video, you now know, okay? You can no longer claim ignorance. If you're taking someone to a place where they got to build three legs versus two, you have just guaranteed a huge percentage of your people will in fact fail. They will not make money. You have just signed their death certificate, their death warrant, that meaning a financial death warrant, their networking, lack of success kind of a death warrant, right? Yeah, their career death warrant. You just guaranteed a huge percentage of people will not succeed, period. It is infinitely harder to build three legs than two. And anyone tries to argue otherwise, I mean, hello, it's infinitely harder to build two legs than one. I mean, common sense. I mean, it's not, again, everyone knows it's hard to build one leg. It's even harder to build two legs. Why would you add a third? And the companies that are running those programs are cashing in. They pay out like 40%, which is horrible, by the way. And when you go to the binary, it pays out a lot more money. A ton of people are cashing in. It's just a much more equitable system.
Coach, would you say that it would be the equivalent of the slot machines being set in the favor of the owners of the hotel?
Yeah, you say that, and to the tune of it doesn't pay out very much, right? And by the way, if you come over and you look, because we happen to have the new Forex thing we're rolling out, right? You're going to find out that a ton of people that down the road, they're going to say, "Man, this travel stuff's kind of cool." You're not selling the travel, but you're going to have tons of people buying it, right? And so if you have people buying both sides of the aisle, it only takes 100 people in your left leg and 100 people in your right leg to make $100,000 a year. Wow. Again, I'll say that again: 200 people, I got 100 on my left leg and 100 on my right leg, and I'm making 100 grand a year. Now, did you bring all 100? No, I went and got four. Who got four? Who got four? That's 84 people, by the way. I'm now halfway, almost to a six-figure income. And so, that's the kind of thing that we're bringing to the table. It's helping that average person, go out there and have a real financial result. And you're just not going to get that in some of these three-legged systems because the average people can't do it. And some people say, well, that's not true. I was with a company where a lot of people are getting paid. Well, there was a lot of momentum that happened with a couple of these companies, including the one that just decided that they're no longer around. They were a phenomenon. I mean, they signed up 70,000 people in a handful of months. You know how many companies in the history of the world have ever done that, Pastor Mel? Not many. And so it was lightning in the bottle. And to think that and so when that many people are coming in, sure, it looks like a lot of people are making tons of money. Lots of people are having success. A few people are making huge checks, right? But that's not the typical experience. That's not going to last. Eventually, you go back to something that's called reality, and you're just now in the average building mode. And with the average building mode, again, the average person can't do it. So there's guys that call the early momentum. I say, oh, this is great because look at my check, right? Well, you bring in the next person that's no longer got that momentum, and they're falling off, right? They can't do it. And so, so again, sometimes I know that people might get that confused, but you might say, hey, they made some money, but again, they kind of caught lightning in a bottle for a moment, and it didn't last. That company went away. There's some other companies now where they had some magic in a bottle for a moment, but then since then, if you look at their current growth, I happen to know some of the inside numbers, it's slowed way down. It's nothing phenomenal. They had a phenomenal moment. A lot of because a lot of people went from that company to this company, right? They had this phenomenal moment where it looked like it was blowing up and it was great. And if you're one of the leaders that caught all that growth and got lucky, I mean, you can win the lotto too. But that's no longer the case for the new people that are going there. Since that initial moment, the growth is tepid. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad, but it's just nothing special, right? They're just kind of chicken along like everyone else now. I mean, they're growing, but I mean, it's not like this rocket ship. And for those people coming in, I mean, they're it's a grind, and they're going to have massive. A lot of people are going to struggle. And it doesn't have to be that way.
Well, Coach, I'm not going to hold you much longer. I know you have several appointments to get to, but I do want to ask you this. You mentioned, and this is worth noting, you're watching this broadcast with live replay. You mentioned that for those who will build a team of what we call travel traders, who are dual citizens in the experience of earning income through the travel industry, which is an $8 trillion annual industry projected to grow over the next decade to more than 12. And travel is not dead. Sleep, yes, for the moment, but it's coming back. And when it does, my God, is this thing going to explode? It's projected to grow to more than 12 within the next decade. So you have your foot in travel, you have your foot in trade. Those are travel traders combined. We have a company that no matter what side of the equation you're on, you can bring in persons on either side. So that is to say that if I'm in travel, I can bring someone on my team who's interested in trade only, whether they're going to build a team or not. I can also bring in someone in travel, and I can also bring in someone who's in both sides, and vice versa. If I'm on the trade side, I can do the exact same. So you're saying with 100 travel traders on one leg of my business, and 100 travel traders on another leg of my business, the second leg, the binary structure, that is a six-figure income status.
That's correct. Yeah, 100 on the left, 100 platinum travel traders on the left, 100 platinum travel traders on the right, and you're in the six-figure neighborhood.
Wow. Can you give us some numbers before you leave? Before we get to that 100K, what are some of the other valued checkpoints along the journey?
Yeah. So if we stick with the theme of being a platinum travel trader, by the way, and of course, again, I want to emphasize that many people are just going to do the Forex only, the brand new thing we're rolling out. Many people are, will eventually gravitate toward the travel, as they learn more about it. But we are the ultimate lifestyle company. Now, people that are talking Forex, oh yeah, I love Forex because I can trade anywhere in the world. I can sit on the beach and make money. Well, if you ever go to a Forex convention or Forex seminar, it sounds like a travel convention because they're pitching travel as much as they're pitching Forex, right?
Right.
So, we are the ultimate lifestyle company. Why do people trade? Lifestyle. Why do people travel? Lifestyle. Why do people get into the direct selling industry? Because they want residual income? Lifestyle. We are the ultimate lifestyle company. And so let's assume that you go out there and you bring on 4 people. And you got 2 on the left, 2 on the right. And your 2 people on the left bring on 1 person each. That gives you a total of 4 on the left, 4 on the right. You are now making $400 to $700 per month. Okay. Wow. If those 4 people bring on a couple people each, you've now got a total of 14 on the left, 14 on the right. You are now making a couple $1,000s per month. Okay. If you can then go out and help 1 or 2 people on your left leg and right leg do what you just did. What did you do? You brought on 4, helped them get a few people each and make it a couple grand a month. I've now helped 1 or 2 people on my left leg, 1 or 2 people on my right leg do what I just did. You are now a 3-star director, car eligible, get a BMW, Tesla, Range Rover, Mercedes, and you're making $30,000 to $40,000 per year in income. If you can help 1 more person each leg do that, what you just did, you are now making $50,000 to $60,000 per year. And if you help 1 more person each leg, you've now got 100 on the left, 100 on the right. You're an ambassador, and you are now in that 6-figure neighborhood. And of course, this goes all the way up, to where you're making, huge money and that kind of stuff. Our compensation plan obviously will take you to incredible heights. But those are the checkpoints that a lot of people focus on just immediately to get into the business and get going.
Absolutely. Man, you have helped us immensely. I want to reiterate before you go the things that you've pointed out. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, you've been hearing from a true professional, 25 plus season years of experience, working solely as an entrepreneur at the lead of the pack, not just for Travorium, but really for the industry as it relates to his accomplishments. And he's told us in a very solid fashion, whatever you're going to do, if you're looking for the opportunity, here are some of the things you want to look for. You want to make sure that you have a company that has proven itself with longevity. Have they been around long enough to show you that you should be a part of it? Well, in our case, we're right into our 9th year, pushing into our 9th year here. And that's very exciting to know. So we're no startup operation because we have that experience under our belt. You also want to look for a company that has kept this part of the deal, which is paying you. In our case, is every single Friday. And that's when the pay is received. And to my knowledge, we have literally for the past going into our 9th year, every single Friday for 9 years almost straight. There's never been anybody that's missed the pay in any kind of way. So the consistency in pay, you want to make sure you have that. Excellence in leadership. You don't want to just go with the charisma and what we call the hype. There was an old tune from my days. Don't believe the hype. You want to slow it down just a moment, investigate what you need to investigate, make sure the leaders, the core leaders especially, are persons of integrity. They keep their word. They mean what they say what they mean, and they're really doing what they need to do as leaders. And in our case, with David Hart and the core staff, we're in good hands. Foundational opportunity. Well, in our case, of course, we've proven ourselves in travel for 8+ years, coming into our 9th year, and adding on this Forex, man, we're starting all over again. And we're looking for leaders, and we're looking for everyday, ordinary people just like yourself, whether you're going to work with a team or because there's no team required, you can work alone and just focus on earning income, investing in Forex. And then Coach Todd, he brought out so brilliantly how important it is to understand the difference of the advantage we have building a binary compensation structure, operating with 2 legs rather than 3 legs. It takes more time, more energy, more devotion, more skill set to work with 3 than it does with 2. Makes sense to me. Hope it makes sense to you as well. And then he literally, every draw should be dropped when you consider that 100 persons, platinum travel traders on both sides of your business, 100 and 100, that's going to give you 100K in income every single year. Coach, you hit a home run again. Can't thank you enough. Any closing words?
Yeah. One final thought. I think it's important. I know that at the moment, a lot of people are flowing a certain direction to a certain company. And if you really want to be a leader in our space, one of the best things you can do is don't follow the crowd, but yet go find something that's a little bit different, a little bit unique, plant your flag there. And you're going to find out that all this movement that's going one direction, It ain't going to last. A whole bunch of people are going to be looking again, and they're going to start coming your way. Meaning one of the best things you can do is not follow the crowd. So if everyone's going over to Microsoft, right, you should go plant a flag over at Apple. No, but Apple's not really competing. They're all over at Microsoft, right? Play that tape out a little further down the road, right? And we all know what happened. Everything came back Apple's direction. And so again, take that road less traveled. So if you're someone that's listening to this message, get a hold of, a Travorium leader, plant a flag with us. And I promise you, there's going to be a whole bunch of people going to figure out building 3 legs ain't a whole lot of fun. 2 sounds better to me. Whole lot of people are going to figure out, you know what? I'm tired of this instability. Man, here's a company that's 9th year paying people every week. And a whole bunch of people can figure out that we got a better product, a better pay program at a better price. And they're going to start flowing back this direction. Only when they flow back, they're all going to be signing up with you. Instead of you going over there to sign up under them, they're going to be flowing back over here to sign up underneath you. So you got to have a little foresight when you do some of this stuff. Don't give into the FOMO, fear of missing out. Rather be a leader, use your own common sense, do your own due diligence, make your own decision. Hey, thanks for having me, Pastor Mel.
Thank you so much. I'm going to end with this, Coach. I know you got to go, but I'm going to show some of the travel side of what we're all about. And I want to literally let everyone know, if there's a member in our company that has reached out to you with this video, reach back out to them. If I'm the person you want to connect with, then of course, here's all you need to do. Text TravelTrader to 830-522-2110. But please, 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 out of due respect and courtesy, if there's any member in our company that has reached out to you, you have a relationship with them, go ahead and honor that. Reach out to them. That's how we operate here in Travorium. That's how we roll. Here's something for you to consider. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it. God
I've
bless.
always
Bye,
worked
buddy.
hard. I've always wanted to produce. I've always wanted to take care of my family. I've always been a guy willing to put in the hours. I think most people are like me. But I remember my grandfather, a very successful entrepreneur and businessman, he came to me one day and he said, David, you got to learn to shut down. You got to learn to get away. You have to focus on family and have experiences in your life. If you don't, you're going to leave an empty life. You know, I took my grandfather's advice to heart. So I began to experience and travel, and it was amazing. I remember inviting people to do the same and have more experiences out of life, but for a variety of reasons they couldn't. And I thought it shouldn't be this way. You know, my grandfather was right. People need to get away. People need to experience more. So I decided to solve this problem. That's why I started Travorium, a company that could help anyone realize the dream to see the world.
Welcome to Travorium, a radical new concept in travel. Our membership allows almost anyone from any walk of life an opportunity to see the world. Travorium brings people together, leveraging the numbers of travelers for incredible rates. Every month, we award our members travel points that can be used in our world tours and getaways. You choose the path, you gain the benefits, and you tour the world. With our Travorium Getaway platform, you can use your points to buy down the rate at over 2,000 resorts across the globe for your individual trip preference. With our premium membership, you can book these stays for a week long in a 1-bedroom suite for as little as $1 per night after points applied. But our travel points also give you access to life-changing experiences with our World Tours platform. Every year, our team of experts plan multiple world tours to some of the most sought-after locations on the globe, where we plan activities, parties, self-development trainings, and dinners exclusively for our members. Most people can't spend the time, money, or effort in putting together a trip of this magnitude. And the best part is that our world tours bring together like-minded people from all across the globe, allowing you to meet, learn, bond, relax, explore, laugh, and enjoy life with other members of the Travorium family. Each trip creates an incredible experience that cannot be purchased online, memories that will last for a lifetime, and friendships that can transcend continents. It will leave you counting down the moments to the next one. Our membership also gives you access to our private booking engine, where you can save up to 50% on hotels, cruises, resorts, rental cars, and activities. And if traveling and seeing the world sounds exciting, we also invite you to partner with us. You can earn an income doing what you love, allowing you to turn passion into profit and adventure into a way of life.